Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Steve Kiyama, and I'm the franchise owner for Action Coach in Fairfax, Virginia. And I'm your host today of the Business Spotlight podcast. Today, I've got the pleasure to introduce Florence Macaulay, the founder and CEO of Agewise Home, as my guest. And today, we're going to talk about Florence's business, her journey into business ownership, challenges, best practices, and share a peek into what it's really like to build and operate a business. So if this is your first time on the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when a new show like this one drops. So Florence, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. And if you would, please give us a little bit of background about who you are and a little bit about your business.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Yes, I am the president and CEO of Agewise Home, an aging in place consulting company that focuses on helping families and businesses with creating aging in place systems and homes for best place to live and increase the quality of life of seniors and people with disabilities.
Given the aging of the population, that sounds like it's got a lot of traction in it and a lot of opportunity in it.
It does. I think the biggest thing with Age-Wise Home that really gets me excited is because we're trendsetters. We're really thinking about where the population is going to be 10, 15 years ahead and what
Mm-hmm.
resources are available. So our
Mm-hmm.
goal is to really educate the families and businesses on how to really create a perfect environment for people to age in place, regardless of their physical or cognitive abilities. And it's really educating them so one, they understand that just because you're thinking about aging in place doesn't mean it's more expensive. It's just proper planning that needs to go on. So when you think about our aging population, you think about the trends with the increased diagnosis of dementia and how that impacts living with the families who are caregivers,
Mm.
businesses who are still really struggling with having a really strong caregiver workforce. We really use our expertise to help them plan ahead so that when they get to the point where they're overwhelmed, there's already things in place to help them.
Dementia, yeah, certainly. It's not just dementia, it's just the physical deterioration that goes on at
Yeah.
that stage. And
Yes.
yeah, that can lead to some massive issues in the family, I can imagine.
It does. And you have to think about it. When you have a child, there's no book. You just have to figure it
Hmm.
out. But with seniors, there isn't a book, but there's enough experts like myself, there's enough research to know that you have to plan and you have to really understand the course of living. Not
Hmm.
everyone ages the same way. People have had
Hmm.
strokes, people have had car accidents. There are things that people that occur in their lives that change the way they're going to age in place or how they're going to function. And so our goal is just to really have a conversation with you to prepare you for those changes. So it's not like, what do I do? It's really like, okay, this is who I need to call now, and this is what I need to do before I bring a loved one home from the hospital or from a nursing home, or
Uh,
even to with hospice. Just thinking about all of those things so it's not so overwhelming.
yeah, good, 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 good. Just for context, let's give our viewers a little bit of background about how your business is structured. So, solo owner, business partners, outside
Yes.
investors, how are you structured at this point?
So the beautiful thing is it's a business with my husband, which has been
Hmm.
the most rewarding thing because he's literally the smartest person I know outside of my parents. So we have been able to really work together because his background,
Hmm.
he's a PMP as well as a Marine veteran. So he understands changes that occur in a moment and how to process through them. And so, with my expertise in the aging in place and just the senior industry, we've really been able to come together and explore other ways and processes of helping our customers. So yeah, I met him probably a year right after I started my business. So it
Uh,
really helped to be able to have that additional information and that foundational structure. So yes, we have been blessed and it's been even more successful with him.
Now, do you have other people in the business with you along with him?
So we have a couple contractors who,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the safety assessment and
Mm-hmm.
contractors that we work with, and I also just tap into a lot of thought leaders. I have a
Mm-hmm.
state attorney that I work with, a
Mm-hmm.
medical director that I work with, an interior
Mm-hmm.
designer, contractors, developers, and even social media people. So we really work together as a collective to really make sure that
Uh,
the information that I want to share and educate is more
mm.
digestible because people, this is an industry that is so present but so unknown that
Yes.
I want to make sure that we set the foundation of the information so people are able to understand it and apply it to their lives a lot easier.
Fantastic. 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 One of the things that comes to my mind when you say that, though, when you start a business up, there's a whole bunch of hats you got to wear. Got to wear a hat
Yes.
for marketing. You got to wear a hat to
Yes.
close those deals. You got to wear a hat to
Yes.
actually do the physical work. You got to wear a hat to get the
Yes.
bean counting done. You got to wear
Yes.
if there's any HR team members, you got to wear a hat there. Um, there's a whole bunch of hats even within those. Which
Yes.
hats do you wear?
All of those at different times. It really, because
Yeah.
I am the person, because this business is built on the expertise and the knowledge that I'm gained of over a 25-year career. I wear all those hats proudly and I educate those people to understand this industry better.
Ah,
So I do wear all those hats, but I do educate the people that I work with on aging in
hmm.
place because if they're able to passionately explain and confidently explain Asian in place, that's just going to help another person have a better
Yeah.
understanding of how to market our business, how to deal with any HR issues, and how to deal with our customers. So part of a lot of meetings that I have is just saying, hey, this is the new trend in the industry. Hey, this is what
Hmm.
just happened, or just giving them different definitions to learn and work with.
Awesome. 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 Let's play around a little bit on customers. Now,
Okay.
I've heard you say that families are customers, and that's
Yes.
relatively easy to understand who they are. They're people with
Mhm.
aging parents. Um,
Yes.
you mentioned businesses. Who are the
Mhm.
businesses that you work with? What's your role there?
So, as a consultant and the
Hmm.
subject matter expert, I'm
Hmm.
currently working with a couple of developers who are opening up assisted livings. And
Hmm.
so, doing that, it's so multi-tiered. It's not even about the physical
Hmm.
plant, it's about the process, the policies and the procedures, the
Hmm.
regulations,
Hmm.
Maryland, DC. And it's such a serious process because
Hmm.
if you're saying that one, you want to receive funds from the district from via Medicaid provider, you need to make sure that your business is set up so that they know that you are going to take care of these seniors the way that they're supposed to. So I'm working with developers who understand it's a cash cow. Anything you do with seniors at this point is going to be a profitable business if you do it properly. But the issue
Hmm.
is there are people who have money and no knowledge and no expertise. So my goal is to really make sure, are you in this business for the right reasons? Because if you're just here to make money, you'll make it, but it won't be consistent because you're not taking care of the customer. So with a developer I'm working in right now, it's just really saying, hey, this bedroom needs to be bigger. The doorways need to be wider. There needs to be an outdoor space because we're trying to improve the quality of life. And I don't want that to be lost in your pursuit to make money. And I think both of those
Hmm.
things can happen where you're providing a great service, a great product, but you're also able to generate a lot of revenue. So I really feel like in a lot of ways with businesses, I'm a gatekeeper to really make sure
Hmm.
that they're in it for the right reasons. And if they're just the money person, that they hire the right people who are passionate enough to take care of seniors properly and really educate them on how to increase their quality of life as well. But it's been a chore. There's a lot of real. I've gone to real estate conferences where I try to explain to them the industry now is multi-generational. There are
Hmm.
very few families now who are not living with someone who's 3 years old or someone who's 78 or 90 years old. So how do you make sure that the environment is safe for all of them? And so it's
Hmm.
really explained to them it's not about spending more money, it's spending your money differently in order to
Hmm.
maximize the customer that you would want to be in your development, especially multi-use complexes and multifamily
Hmm.
complexes. So with them, I've really educated them. It's like, hey, if you have a curbless shower and it's a two-bedroom, you have a tub and another one, you have been able to fit everyone who would possibly live in this home, regardless of their cognitive or their functional level. And so it's really just educating them and to say, please take this seriously. I do not mess around with the industry that I'm in because if you're not passionate about it, don't get into it. And so I really feel like that is my role with a lot of businesses and developers.
Remembering to be able to get a wheelchair through the doors to the bathroom. Yes, there are minor details here.
Yes, that make a huge difference. And sometimes it's frustrating
Yeah.
because the things that I would take for granted because of the level of knowledge, they're not asking those questions. So
Yeah.
now I ask those questions. If you have a 2,000 square foot home and you want to create a residential facility, well, how many people do you want in there? Oh, I want 16. Well, 16 is how much you want to get paid for, but how many people do you want to comfortably live here and
Hmm.
want to stay here? And that's what the
Hmm.
difference is. So it's little things like that. And then also adding that design eye. So people are not coming into a facility, more so a home and a community. And that's what we really want to also stress the importance of. You can get all of those. You just have to talk to the right person.
Sounds like a book starting to be generated.
Yes, it's funny that you say that. I have a lot of notes. My husband and I talk about it because, when I met him, his mother was aging, and it's
Hmm.
so funny. So, and not really funny, but I was our first date. It went really well. I'm like, oh wow, this is a great guy. I didn't hear from him for 2 weeks. And I'm like, I guess it didn't go as well as I thought it did. And he called me. He was like, my mother fell. I said, your mother fell. And then I started asking him all these questions. He was like, who are you? And I said, well, I'm a certified agent and place specialist. And it just sounds like your mother needs this and this and this and this. He was like, where have you been? And so it's really just like, he was like, if I knew that you existed, I would have called you 5 years ago. And so after I met him and I had a chance to meet his mom, and I was just telling her all the things that we can do, she looked at me and she looked at him. She was like, just marry her because I know that you'll be okay. I'll be okay. And so that started the conversation and his like appreciation for the industry that I'm in. But people just don't know what they don't know. So my
Yeah.
job is to really educate them as much as possible.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's kind of play around with this. Why did you choose to go into business in the first place, and then why this specific business?
Oh wow. So it's multi-tiered. So I had surgery in 2019 and I had to be out of work for 6 weeks.
Ooh.
And in that time, I had very specific restrictions. No lifting, no bending, no squatting. I couldn't even get myself in and out of bed. I couldn't get myself on and off the toilet. So I have a sister who had a 2-year-old at the time who was able to fly in from Texas to assist me. But the whole time I was thinking, okay, if I can't do this before surgery, I totally changed my home. I lowered my
Hmm.
bed. All of the items that I needed, I put on a shelf that were lower so I didn't have to reach for it because reaching was also a restriction that I had. So I changed my whole environment to suit the needs and the limitations that I had. And the whole time where I was just laying in bed, not doing much, I was thinking,
Hmm.
what would my elderly clients do? Because my background is in physical therapy. For 25 years, I've been in home health. I've been in nursing homes. I've been in hospitals. So I always educated them on what they needed to do to go home. But the whole time I was thinking, I'm just like, there might not be someone at home who could just stop what they're doing to help them with this.
Correct.
How
Yeah.
am I going to help someone who's in a situation with me, like me functionally, but who would need the assistance? How would I help them? And so I really was just sitting around and just thinking, okay, what should I do? And then I found a course on at USC to have an executive certification in home modification. Love the course. And then
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, this is great. This is more feeding into what I need because to me, it's all about seniors. I had a
Mm-hmm.
granddad until I was 100, until he was 101. So I have a different sensitivity to seniors. And so
Mm-hmm.
during that time, of course, I was grateful. My granddad was only 98 at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to him and I was thinking about how I was feeling. And then I came across a course, actually a certification course to become a certified agent and place specialist through the
Yep.
National Association of Home Builders. And it blew my mind. And I was like, that's it. This is what I'm supposed
Mm-hmm.
to be doing with my life. And if I did not have that opportunity to sit still and actually firsthand experience the limitations that anyone
Yeah.
can have, car accident, aging, how would I help them? And so that's how Agewise Home was born out of just the sheer need and understanding that I'm limited. How am I going to help myself?
Awesome. 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 Let's play around a little bit with that. You've had a journey. You've learned a bunch of
Hmm.
things.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most memorable of the business hurdles that you've had to cross?
I think the more memorable is how comfortable people are saying no straight to your face with so much passion.
Interesting,
I
isn't
I
it?
laugh about it now
Yeah.
because it amazes me how confident I am in what I do and how easily it is for people to say no. And
Hmm.
this is me just saying, hey, can I just have an opportunity to talk to you? Real estate developers, I've gone to home health agencies and ones that
Hmm.
I've worked at. And I've said,
Hmm.
guys, we really need to educate them differently because if you are a veteran, VA pays for certain things, Medicaid pays for certain things, but we're not educating our clients on exactly what they need after that service leaves. So I guess the biggest thing for me is how often I was told no so passionately that I can giggle about it now, but I was like,
Yeah.
wow, I really didn't want to hear it. But
Yeah.
now some of those same people are like, hey, are you still in that business? And I'm like, I
Yeah.
am. How can I help you? So it came full circle, but I think the biggest thing is no is just another opportunity to just kind of change your message a little bit to the person that you're speaking to, and
Yeah.
then give yourself an opportunity to think about who else would possibly say yes. So,
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's who else will say yes, but also no isn't always no. It's no, not now. Not yet.
no, not
I'm not
now.
ready. I'm not ready yet.
Correct. Yeah. Well, one guy, it was like a no forever, and I was fine with that because there
Yeah.
was others I could talk to. But you're
Yeah.
absolutely correct because that's the
Hmm.
thing. People don't know what they don't know. My job is to
Right.
explain to you what you need before you need it. And so
Hmm.
it's really just that education. But I feel like that with my journey and where we are now, it really is how many people are not aware of just thinking about getting older.
Yeah.
And then also how many people are not aware of this industry and how often I said was told no were probably the most memorable pieces. I'm still getting no's, but the difference is, and I'll talk to you. I'll check back with you in 6 months, and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I get it. I get it. Yep. Perfect. When you look ahead, where would you like the business to be in 5 or 10 years?
Oh, which I dream about this a lot, just nationally. And what I would really like to be able
Hmm.
to do is start opening up my own memory care assisted livings. And then
Hmm.
also with some like an educational center, somewhat of a
Hmm.
university for families and
Hmm.
businesses so that they understand what opportunities there are in this industry. I love what
Hmm.
I do and I have a passion for it. And I feel like everyone should know. Everyone should
Hmm.
know what their blood pressure is. Everyone should know what their blood type is. Everyone should know how to age in place and plan. And so I really want to be able to go nationally and create what I know is going to be needed in in our community is a
Hmm.
support for seniors with cognitive issues, but then also for people with disabilities, especially veterans, to be able to have homes where they're supported and cared for in a way that they haven't received before. And so in 3 to 5 years, I hope that we have a few age-wise homes and also a
Hmm.
university where we continue the education to businesses and families.
Very good. Very good. What do you see as main obstacles to make that vision happen?
I really think it's just the lack of knowing about the industry. There's a lot of
Hmm.
people popping up because you get the alert of, hey, I can help you open this business up. I can help you open that business up. And I just think about how much they don't know.
You're
But they're
right.
still, because they have the money, they're like, hey, it's a profitable industry. So I think the biggest barrier is that collectively in the society, we don't have a full understanding what it means to age and what that looks like. Everyone just says, oh, we're going to a nursing home. There's so many other things in between going to a nursing home. There's so
Hmm.
many different options. There's so many different ways to care for people. And I think it's just the fact that it's not on the radar until it's too late. So it's
Yeah,
really trying to get it more into the lexicon, trying to get it more into just on television talking about it. You see it
good.
popping up a little bit more where they'll say, hey, you had brain surgery. Have you planned? Have you done a will? What are your children going to do? And so it's really thinking about end of life in a way that isn't doom and gloom, but more of saying, hey, you know what? I can control where I'm going to be staying. I can really plan so that I get everything that I need and I enjoy
Good.
my last days because I've already put them in plan and told them what I wanted.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thinking back a little bit, let's think back a little bit here. You've learned a lot.
Hmm.
You've done a lot. If you were going to start this business new today,
Hmm.
is there anything you would do differently based on what you've learned?
Hmm. Great question. There's not too much I would do differently in terms of the structure, the information, and the services I provide. I think what I would do is push social media a lot harder and work on more so newspaper and radio. And the reason why is
Hmm.
because the population that I am gearing towards, now, mind you, they start in their 40s because they're people in their 40s looking to support their family members, which, is a social media aspect of it. But there's seniors who are just like, I got this. And what are they looking at more? They're reading more of the newspaper, either
Yeah.
online or, the hard copy, or they're listening to the radio. I listen to talk radio all day. And I think
Hmm.
for me, having more of a presence in those mediums, I think would change the trajectory of the business. It's not something I can't do, but I think going back, um, that's something that I would push harder and more so because that is where my bread
Good.
and butter is more so located.
Fantastic. Fantastic. In the interest of time, we're going to have to start wrapping up a little bit. I'm having an
Okay.
awful lot of fun. This is some really good stuff.
It's easy to talk to you, sir.
Oh, this is a lot of fun. But before we wrap up, let's try a couple of rapid fire questions here and
Okay.
just see what comes out. What would you say has been the key to success for you?
Consistency and
Hmm.
passion. I don't get tired doing this work because I absolutely love it and it's mission driven.
Fantastic. Awesome. If you and I were having coffee at the coffee shop down the street
Mhm.
and somebody walked in talking about the business that they were starting up, is there one piece of advice you would share with that person?
Um, get everything in order that you need to be a credentialed real business, not just on paper. Well, on paper, not just in your head. Make sure
Hmm.
everything is aligned and have an attorney that you can talk to through the steps
Oh,
that you have, especially
yeah.
if you're going to take on a partner. And
Yes.
just to really think about covering yourself and not just thinking about where your business is going to be this year. Think about where you want it to be in 5 and make those
Good.
decisions. Hmm.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point and a really important point that people like to skip over. Everybody
Yeah,
wants to think of an attorney as an expense. An attorney is a really strong resource, and there's a
correct.
lot of places that you need that. And I would say a good business CPA is another one.
Yes.
And it's not
Yes.
about the taxes; it's about the insight of how money flows through a business.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Good
there's
point.
a really good points there. Good, good. You've had a great journey.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. When you think about when you graduate college, they never tell you about starting your own business. They just tell you how to work for somebody. And I
How to be
think
an
it's just like,
employee, yeah.
yeah, how to be an employee. And it's just like, Wow, if you start people off at least telling them how to be a business owner, they'll think about their jobs differently and they'll
Yeah,
be
they
more
will.
invested in everything that they do. So I
Yeah.
love the journey that I had. I'm now in a sandwich generation where I have a 3-year-old and I have parents in their late 70s. And so those responsibilities and really understanding how I could be of benefit to myself and
Hmm.
everyone around me I think is part of the journey, which I've really enjoyed because I've learned a lot about myself in this whole process.
Oh, that was a point right there. Yeah. What would you say from the business journey itself? What are you most proud of?
The customers that we've helped.
Mm,
I get a lot of calls of when someone has passed. I get a lot of emails. They're like, you really helped us. Can you please come? And I take that as an honor for you to, now these are people I helped like 4 or 5 years ago who are just like, we really appreciate it because of you. They really enjoyed the time that they had, and we were able to really enjoy them more so versus than just transactional of just giving you medication, cleaning you up. We were able to enjoy those times. So that's
hmm.
the most I'm proud of. And I'm proud of the fact that I've been able to be on podcasts. I've been featured in different newspaper articles and magazines because I love what I do. And I take on the responsibility of being the ambassador of this industry and the protection that seniors and people with disabilities need. So that's what I'm most proud of.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. If we flip the question around and you had a
Mhm.
magic wand that you could fix something magically in your business this afternoon, what would it be?
I would give myself two more clients and
Good.
and I think making more of the presence, like I was telling you in newspapers and on radio. They have um, really great information that you get on the radio, and I think that's a medium
Mhm.
that I need to work on. And I would redo one contract. That would be the only change that I have is with one developer. I would change the contract just slightly, um, because it was more of a, I don't want to say misrepresentation, but they thought really highly of themselves, which is great, but the information was lacking, so I had to work on
Mm,
it.
got
But
it.
that would be the only thing. And I when I talk to people like you, when I meet people who are other thought leaders in their industry, that's something that I love. And there's also someone who is showing me how to use AI in my business as well. So that's
Good,
something that I'm in the process of working on now. So
good,
yeah, I love where we're at because there's people now who are coming to us and say, "Hey, did you think about that?" So we're working on how to use AI in some of the different services that we provide.
fantastic, fantastic. Most important question. How can people who
Mhm.
want to know more get in contact with you most effectively?
Most effectively, it would go to our website,
Hmm.
agewisehome.com. We have a contact us page. We have all the information that you need to contact me and get a better understanding of how we help businesses and families.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I am always in DC, Maryland, Virginia, spreading the gospel of the work that we do. But it really is
Awesome.
the website is the best place, and yeah, and word of mouth. There's someone who knows me or knows someone I've worked with, and it's really just really the best way of contacting us.
Awesome. 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 Last question. What's
Mhm.
most inspiring to you today?
My 3-year-old and the seniors that I work with,
Yeah.
there's never a dull moment. I cannot explain. Like, I never know what that 3-year-old's gonna say, and I never know what my seniors are gonna say, which
Yeah.
keeps me on my toes. But I
Yeah.
get inspired by the fact that one day I'll be that age and I want someone like me to take care of me. And so
Hmm.
that's why I'm really focused on it because I want everyone to enjoy their life for as long as it is and to enjoy it the way they want to. And yes, there's things that people want, but the things that you need have to be in place. And that's what I really want to make sure is that we have a society that we're focused on making sure that people who have invested in this world, who have created systems and bridges and, processes
Mm,
that we take advantage of now are appreciated at that time in their lives so that they can kind of chill
mm,
back and reflect on their lives and not have to worry about anything and just say, you know
yeah.
what, I did a good job and I'm just going to relax now. And that's what
Yeah.
inspires me. And I hope to be able to be 101 like my granddad or 105 like my great grandmother. So it's just one of those things that really inspires me about hopefully I get someone who is as passionate as I am to care for me then.
Yeah, fantastic. That is a good point. And given where the population is going, we're going to need more people doing just exactly that. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
absolutely true. People who care, actually.
Yes,
Awesome.
exactly.
This has been good. This has been a fantastic conversation. I really appreciate you've shared some really great both aging in place points
Mhm.
and business points. So this has been really, really good. So thank you for sharing all of that. And I want to encourage everybody watching to save the show, come back and watch it again. Florence has given us a few clues here, things that we need to pay attention to. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications every time a new conversation like this one drops. And thank you to everyone who joined us today. And a special thanks to Florence for being with us, being vulnerable, and sharing her story. Thank you.
Thank you very much.